everyone, welcome back to another Financial Friday video. A while ago I had posted a video asking you to leave me all of your financial questions, so I have a bunch of them written down here and I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into it and get started. So the first question I received says, do you plan to save up and renovate the whole kitchen at once or replace things piece by piece as you save? So my husband and I just purchased our first home, and if you've watched any of my vlogs, I have talked about how much I hate the kitchen. It is so small. The cabinets that are in the kitchen are so tiny. There used to be a door opening to our bedroom in the kitchen. We closed that and moved the door, so now there's a big empty wall in our kitchen. We do plan on just gutting the entire thing and replacing the cabinets and getting all new appliances and the whole 9 yards. However, we do plan on doing that all at once because you know how a project goes. You buy one thing, then you need something else, and something else you weren't expecting comes up. So we want to save a big chunk of money and then do the project all at once. However, I'll probably buy like dishes and little things for the kitchen that, you know, go in the kitchen, but we won't like do the whole project until we are completely ready to do so. Number 2, did we buy our home based on both of our salaries or something we could afford on one? We purchased our home based on my husband's salary by itself. I want to be a stay-at-home mom, that's my dream, and I do work from home and I am technically kind of self-employed, and I mean, nothing is ever guaranteed and that could go away at any moment. And of course, my ultimate goal is to be a stay-at-home mom. So we figured buying a home on one salary would be the best thing for us and for our family. So we did that and I'm very happy with our decision. Do I coupon to help keep my grocery bill down? I do coupon. I used to be totally into the extreme couponing. I taught myself how to do it. I taught classes on how to do it and I loved it. I still really do enjoy couponing and finding a good deal. However, I don't really have as much time as I used to dedicate towards couponing. So normally, like when Liz and I go to Target, I'll use the Target Cartwheel app, or if I've been really good that week and I've made a meal plan and I've kind of written my list out, I will go on the Target website or coupons.com and see if there's any online coupons, but I haven't been as good about couponing as I used to, but it's definitely something that I want to do again in the future. Should you fully fund baby step 3 before saving for a house? For those of you who don't do the Dave Ramsey financial plan, baby step 3 is a 3 to 6 month emergency fund. So 3 to 6 months of expenses, you want to save that and have that that's the baby step number 3. David and I didn't do that. We had all of our debt paid off when we had our $1,000 emergency fund, which are step 1 and 2, but we did not have a fully funded emergency fund before we purchased our home, and I definitely would say that you should do that before you purchase a home, because when you purchase a home, all kinds of expenses come up that you weren't expecting, and you know, a lot of people said that, and I knew that there was going to be unexpected expenses come up, but I definitely think that it would be really good to have your 3 to 6 month emergency fund in place just in case. You never know what's going to happen. But like I said, we didn't do that. But if I could go back, I definitely would do that. Any insight into working from home and budgeting based on that, since I am using more electricity, etc. So I do work from home and it's a full-time work from home job, and I have to budget for that because it's honestly less expensive for me to stay home than it is for me to go work. I don't have to buy new clothes for a job. I can wear my pajamas if I want. I don't have to go anywhere, so I don't ever use that much gas, so that's a big savings right there. And then I never have the AC on during the day because I freeze to death. So when my husband's not home, I have the AC off, so I don't have to worry about that. I'm in one room and I only have the light on in that one room, and I really don't think that our electric bill really has been any different since I've stayed at home. And also because I'm technically kind of self-employed, I can write all of that stuff off on my taxes. So I can write off my office space and all of that off of my taxes, so it's actually kind of a savings that way. I didn't do that yet just because I don't know the whole ins and outs of everything, but I definitely will plan on doing that again, or I will plan on doing that in the future. So really it has helped our family and our budget with me being home than it did when I worked outside of the home. If we were receiving a big tax refund this year worth several $1,000s, what would we do with it? Save it, spend it on the house, pay off the debt, or take a vacation? So my husband and I did receive a tax refund this year, and we what did we do with it? We bought a new dryer because our dryer broke. It actually wasn't working when we moved into the house, then we fixed it. Then the heating element went out, then we bought the part to fix the heating element, we fixed it, and then it went out again. So we decided to go ahead and buy a new dryer, so part of that went to the dryer. We also had to buy a new door for our garage, and we had to buy, you know, a bunch of miscellaneous stuff for the house, so we went ahead and did that. And my husband has been needing tires on his truck, so we went ahead and just paid for that with the tax refund money. We had an envelope for that. We were saving for the tires, but we weren't saving very much, and he really needed them, so we just decided to go ahead and take the money and buy him new tires. And then of course when he took his truck to the shop, they said X, Y, and Z was wrong with it, so we went ahead and just got his truck up and running. But if I didn't have any of those things to do with it, I would probably shove it in savings. Do we ever have unexpected costs pop up that we didn't plan for with our envelopes, and if so, how do we manage it? I always save. I don't do a zero-based budget. I know that that's what Dave Ramsey teaches, and a lot of you do a zero-based budget. However, I just don't feel like that works for me and my husband. I like to leave a good chunk of money in our bank account that's just there in case something does come up. Let's say, you know, I have an envelope for Remy, and that usually covers the cost of her food, but let's say she has an emergency and we have to take her to the vet. We have money in there. If one of us has to go to the emergency room and we have to pay, you know, the cost to being in there or whatever, I like to know that I have some money in our checking account that is set aside for those extras that happen to pop up. So that's what I do, and I feel like it works really well for us. How do we prep for purchasing a home? What percentage did we save? Did we have a game plan or just try to save whatever we could? A lot of people ask this question. So the first part of it, how did we prep for purchasing a home? We just threw all of our extra money into a savings account because we knew we had to put a down payment down and also pay for closing costs, and we kind of had an idea of how much we needed, so we just, you know, were on the bare minimum of what we needed, and then we just threw all the extra money into a savings account. And what percentage did we save? We didn't really have a percentage like, okay, we're gonna save 50%. It was just as much as we could save, we saved. And if we couldn't save anymore, then it wasn't a big deal. And if we saved less, then it wasn't a big deal. We didn't really have a percentage goal that we were trying to reach. Did we have a game plan or just try to save whatever we could? I think I kind of answered that. We just kind of threw everything that we had extra into savings. Number 9, do you own a car? If so, have you had to deal with major repairs? We own 3 cars. My husband has a car, he has a truck, and then I have a little SUV. Like I said, we are using most of our tax return to go towards my husband's truck to get new tires and some new parts, and so that we can get that up and running. My car, as you guys I'm sure have seen in some of my previous videos, is kind of hit or miss. It's usually broken down, or I can drive it for a couple weeks and it breaks down again. So we are hoping to kind of get it fixed enough to where we can either trade it in or try and sell it for a little chunk of money, and maybe even sell my husband's car and get a new car that's more reliable, because driving around my little car, I've had it since I was 16, I think it's ready for an upgrade. What's the first thing you look at when you want to purchase a home or a car? For us, the first thing we looked at was obviously what we could afford, what we were paying in rent, and we wanted to kind of stay around that price because we knew we could afford it. So whatever we were paying in rent, we wanted to try and find a house that we could pay the same in mortgage, and I think it pretty much worked out where we're only spending like $70 more on our mortgage than we were on our rent. So that's what we looked at. You know, we really wanted to purchase a home under just my husband's salary, so we really kind of looked at, okay, if I'm not making an income, what can we afford on just my husband's income? And also, how much do we need to save to be able to purchase that home? You know, we want to buy a car, but we don't have a ton of money to throw onto a car, so we need to take a step back and think, okay, you know, we want to purchase a car by this date. How much do we need to save? You know, all that. So money is the big deal. For us, we kind of knew the area we wanted to live in, but it wasn't like, it was just like, we need to buy a house. Here's some money, let's buy a house. That's kind of what we did. When I'm out shopping and I'm purchasing groceries, dog food, and home decor, how do I pay since I have an envelope for each category? And I know that that wasn't a direct question, but I couldn't find the question. Someone had actually left a question like that on one of my other financial videos and I couldn't find it, but I know that a lot of people have asked this question. So if I'm at Target and I happen to need dog food and I happen to buy groceries and then maybe I want to buy a rug or something, I will usually split it up into 3 transactions. So I'll pay for Remy's stuff with just her envelope, I'll pay for the groceries with the grocery envelope, and then I'll pay for that rug with the home decor or house envelope. I know a lot of people will just do it all together and then they'll kind of break down their receipts and then take cash from the envelope that they used and kind of switch everything around. I just would rather not mess with any of that. I know exactly how much I needed from the Remy envelope and I could pay for it, and then I have exactly what I need back in the envelope. I don't want to have to round up or round down. I want to know exactly how much I have, exactly how much I spent, and honestly, I've never really had an issue doing that. It's not like against the law or anything. You can do as many transactions as you want. So that's what I normally do, or you know, if my husband's with me, I'll have him go pay for the dog food and then I'll pay for the groceries separate. That's just what we do. It works well for us. I don't want to have to mess with, you know, taking money out of envelopes and not putting them back and having to worry about all that. So that's what works well for me. I don't really care. I know when I shop with people, they kind of get annoyed because it's like, okay, really? You really need to do that? It's just cash. Like, figure it out later. But I want to figure it out then so I don't have to worry about it later. So those are the questions for this video. If you have any more, feel free to leave them in the comment section below and I will get back with you. I hope that you guys enjoyed this Financial Friday video and I will see you all in my next one. Bye guys! That doesn't look like an egg with the string.